It is a new year, and that means it is time for everyone to make a bunch of resolutions and hope that we stick to even like a quarter of them by the time that we reach August. And I'm going to jump on it this year. I don't usually make New Year's resolutions because I was in school, so it felt like the new year was September and not really January anyway. But I mean, I've been graduated for 2 years now. Figured that it was time, and I thought everyone else does it. I'll give it a try. So last year, that was an experience for me. It was quite the roller coaster, mostly in terms of employment, but lots of other things as well. We're still in the post-pandemic world, but going from pretty precariously employed to becoming unionized and feeling like I had a reliable, safe job that I also really enjoyed. Getting illegally fired, having to deal with a whole legal process around that, all that nonsense, and then having 2 temp jobs kind of to end off the year. There's a lot that I could say, but all I'm going to say is it was a roller coaster. Maybe a future thing I'll talk more about some of that stuff, but it was a lot. And I think that it really solidified one of the things that I probably always knew about myself, but there just isn't a traditional 9 to 5 that is for me. There could very well be a job that comes along that I will enjoy enough, or maybe I'll make my own job, I really wanted to give the artist in me a proper chance this year, as opposed to keep trying to fit myself into some corporate system that doesn't want me to fit in anyway. So over the last year, I tried to do a lot more of my art stuff. I got a Cricut machine, can make like stickers, so I've been like playing around with all sorts of sticker making, and I have been making a lot of cards as well. I don't really know why. It is not a amazing vehicle for income, but they've just been really fun to make, and that ultimately was like, that was why, right? It was fun for me to make these. When I look over last year, these like the fact that I did things like this, like those stickers, that was stuff that I was looking back on the year and being happy about, and stuff that I wanted to bring into the new year. That, along with the thing I kind of just started, which is like my lost media project. I'm trying to preserve a bunch of different shows and movies that I either really enjoyed or I think are really important and are probably going to be lost one day because they're only available on streaming sites. So that's the patchwork kind of way that I'd been bringing my art and artistic tendencies into stuff that I was already doing, but I'm trying to give it a more proper go this year. I've decided that 2024 is going to be a year of content for me. I don't want to be a content creator per se, but there are so many different areas of content creation, for lack of a better umbrella term. There's so many different forms of media that I do love creating. I feel like I need to actually intentionally try to do them. What I've decided to do, and we'll see, maybe it's a bad idea and maybe I'm going to abandon it. I've broken up the year into like every 2 months being a new category or genre of media and content creation. So every 2 months, give it a go on that kind of area, while still doing other stuff, and hopefully be able to test the waters and also be able to see, don't think I want to be a full-time content creator, but hey, if I'm doing something I love, I'm creating stuff I love, and it's something I can sustain myself with, then that'll be amazing. So January, which it already is, and February, because I'm still finalizing the details, this one is going to be the gaming focus because that's something that I already do and I'm pretty familiar with. So streaming on Twitch and making clips and highlights of streams. Maybe I'll make some actual intentional videos that have a story or a plot as well. Hoping I can maybe get some friends to play some stuff with me. If you've watched anyone who creates gaming content, that's what it's going to be. For March and April, it'll be lifestyle and vlogging and stuff like that. I'm trying to do an exercise routine, so it would involve things like that. So then in May and June, it's going to be opinion review content. So I think that'll probably mostly be streams where I do like the tier listing and talk about my opinion on something, give my thoughts, and do reviews. And then July and August will be DIY and crafts, so gonna go all in on a lot of my probably card making, sticker making. I have a couple other, I have some like wood projects, like wood making projects that I'm trying to make work. And then in September and October, it'll be kind of similar to the previous one where it was reviews. This will just be like news/journalism, and I'll kind of go through what's going on in the world, whether it's like one specific thing or just general. I'm not sure. That is more than half a year away. Have not thought that far ahead. And the final category is in November and December. That will be education focused. And so I think some of the content for a couple of those categories are going to be fairly similar. It's more so for me in terms of how I know I'm approaching it. Like, oh, I'm specifically trying to make an opinion video versus a news video, even though it's probably both will look very visually the same. Yeah, those are the categories, and that's what I'm hoping to get out of this year. I want to learn about these different areas and how I enjoy them. And I also think that it would be really cool to pass some of that experience on. So obviously you're going to see the content, but for each of those categories, I'm going to make sure that I do at least one properly, like full-length produced YouTube video talking about that genre, what my experience was, what it was like doing that kind of content for 2 months. And that will hopefully light a fire under my ass to do all of the stuff in each genre, try all the different things, even if I'm scared to. But it'll also hopefully give anyone who watches a better idea about what goes into doing some of these things. And maybe even people will see what stuff that I'm doing and give me tips. And there will be ways that I can learn through people who watch. And I think that's kind of the whole point of doing stuff like this on the internet. So I'm really excited for that, and I think that we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not planning on being like, okay, so January and February means I can only play games and that is it. Like, that is not the whole point of this, is that I want to force myself to go outside of my comfort zones and to try more things. So I'm not going to be limiting any of my stuff because of this schedule. It's just going to force me to make sure that I do, at least in those 2 months, I do that kind of content. But I might, if I really enjoy all the gaming stuff that I do, I'll probably continue that throughout the year like I did last year. And I'm definitely not going to stop making like all these cards. Like, these are all things that I made in my free time without making videos or anything, like not for content, just for fun. So I'm going to keep doing all that stuff, but each of those categories will have their 2 months to like make sure I go all in and cover all the different bases that genre of media and content can be. And yeah, if you're just finding me, you have no idea who I am a real person, I promise. I look forward to hopefully interacting with you maybe through this process, because that is one of the things that I enjoy the most. Little bit of a niche reference here, but I was actually just watching a video 2 nights ago from Maddie Morphosis on her drag queen talk show. Sugar was talking about how she's recently kind of come to terms with the fact that she knows that she was put on this earth to be a healer and to bring people together. And that really resonated with me, because I've always been very confused, because every job that I look back on, or even volunteer experiences or just fun things I chose to do in my free time, there's very little connection between them. Like, I'll go from an office job where I'm answering phones and filing to running events to something like athletic, and just never felt like, I was like, what do I actually enjoy? And what I realized before this video, but Sugar really just put it into words that I really resonated with, was I'm the same. I really enjoy being with people, whether it is to help them, whether it is to relax, whether it is to just like be humans together. Something that I don't think we do enough these days. And yeah, I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm planning to heal the world and save lives with content creation. That, no. My mom's a nurse, for example. I know that there are people doing really important healing, but I think that there are so many different kinds of healing that we need, and especially these days, life is so grim that we need more and more, whether you use it as an escape, whether you use it to nurture your own creativity, we need more avenues for people to like connect with other people and have human experiences. So whether you know me, you don't know me, you've seen some of my stuff before, you have no idea how this video even came onto your feed in the first place, if you've watched this far, shout out to you. Thank you. You're the best. I hope that you'll keep coming back. I've got some pretty cool plans that I'm excited to make happen.